Hello, friends, and welcome back to TJKidz Super Fun Stories, where imagination becomes reality. Today we have another Jetty the Yeti story. Last episode, Jetty was trying to fly passenger jets, and things didn't go exactly the way he had hoped. And now it looks like he's going for a job at the airport. Oh boy, a Yeti working at the airport. What could go wrong, right? Well, we're just going to have to listen to find out. So grab a comfy spot, get cozy, and join me on this adventure. Jetty the Yeti gets a job at the airport. Jetty the Yeti had been feeling pretty down ever since his commercial airline debut went, well, not great. He'd been sitting quietly in the airplane hangar with his head down. Darnell, Joanna, and James tried everything to cheer him up. "We still love flying with you, Jetty," Joanna said. "Yeah," James added. "People will accept you eventually. You just need to give them time to warm up to you." Jetty didn't lift his head. He just mumbled,
"Jetty, no pilot."
Captain Harris walked over and patted Jetty on the back. "Jetty," he said, "I know you had big dreams, and flying passenger planes isn't off the table forever. The people will come around. They just aren't used to, well, seeing Yetis." Jetty looked up a little. "But hey," Captain Harris continued, "I might be able to pull some strings. I know a lot of folks at the airport. If you're willing to work hard, maybe there's another job you could try. Something to help people get more familiar with you." Jetty perked up a bit.
"Jetty? Job?"
"That's right," Captain Harris said. "Let's go see what we can find. There has to be something for a Yeti." The next morning, Jetty dressed up for his big meeting with the airport staff. He wore a clip-on tie that attached to his fur, an oversized dress vest, and the hair on his head was combed neatly to one side. He stepped forward shyly and waved at Bob and Steve, two airport managers Captain Harris had arranged to meet. Bob looked up at Jetty, then turned to Captain Harris. "Is this a joke?" "Captain Harris, we respect you," Steve added. "But a Yeti? Seriously? What do you expect us to do with a Yeti? People are afraid of Yetis." "Exactly," Captain Harris replied. "And we want to change their minds. Jetty's actually a great pilot. The only problem he has is, well, he's a Yeti. But if we can get people more accustomed to him, maybe things can change." Jetty raised his head slightly and gave them big puppy dog eyes. "Well," Bob sighed, "I guess he could probably lift a lot of luggage." "I suppose that's not a terrible idea," Steve added. "Maybe we could find a spot as a baggage handler, or somewhere on the ground crew." Jetty smiled.
"Baggage."
"All right," said Bob. "Let's give him a shot." Jetty was assigned to work with Larry, an experienced luggage handler who had been loading bags for 25 years. "Okay, Jetty," Larry said. "First rule, we have to be gentle with the bags. They can have delicate items."
"Gentle,"
Jetty repeated. "Right, so we pick them up carefully and—" Before Larry could finish, Jetty grabbed 10 suitcases at once and launched them 30 feet into the cargo bay. Larry's jaw dropped open, and he stood there frozen for a moment. Well, never seen that before.
Jetty, gentle.
Jetty said proudly. Okay, yeah, said Larry. Maybe we can try something else. He pointed to a luggage cart filled with suitcases. We drive this cart to the plane, and then the lift loads the bags into the cargo hold. Larry hopped into the cart and started driving toward the plane. Jetty walked behind him, picked up the entire cart, luggage, wheels, and Larry included, and placed it gently on the plane. Okay, Larry said, or maybe we don't need the lift. Just then, Jetty noticed 2 ramp agents nearby, the workers who guide planes with the bright orange wands. Jetty waved at one of them. The ramp agent jumped, screamed, and threw his arms back, causing him to accidentally guide a plane straight through a row of rose bushes. All right, Jetty, said Larry. I think that's enough ramp work for today. Let's move on. Then he mumbled under his breath, maybe somewhere away from people. He brought Jetty to the arrivals area. This is where the passengers get their luggage, Larry explained. We load the bags onto the conveyor belt and it brings them out. People are very happy to see their luggage.
Happy people.
Jetty repeated. Exactly, Larry said. Then Jetty jumped onto the conveyor belt with the luggage. No, Jetty, wait! You... But Jetty had already disappeared through the rubber flaps. A moment later, Jetty rolled into the baggage claim area, cuddled up with a pile of suitcases. He stood up holding several bags.
Luggage,
he said proudly.
happy.
People screamed and ran in every direction. Larry covered his face with his hands. What am I supposed to do with this Yeti? He ran inside to the baggage claim and quickly shuffled Jetty into a back room. Okay, Jetty, Larry said. Let's take a break and get a snack. Jetty followed him through a hallway. They passed a room filled with lost and found items, hats, scarves, water bottles, toys, and random things that people had left behind. Jetty walked in and started eating items in the bins. No, Jetty, Larry shouted. This is lost and found. No eat.
Jetty, no eat?
Jetty asked.
Jetty, hungry.
No, Larry said. Jetty no eat not food. Jetty no eat the items that no food. What am I saying? How do you even talk to a Yeti? Jetty lowered his head.
Jetty, sorry.
Larry sighed. Look, I don't think this is working out. Maybe we need to find another job for you. Larry met with Bob and Steve. He's strong, Larry said. He can lift an entire luggage cart, and he's friendly, but he's scaring everyone that sees him. And he's eating the lost and found. I just don't know how to teach him. Bob thought for a moment. I think I have an idea. What if we put him in airport security? Maybe he can keep the line moving. Hey, Steve responded. That's not a bad idea. He would definitely keep things moving. Jetty was given a security hat, which sat on top of his giant head. He walked over to the security checkpoint. There, a grumpy passenger was arguing with a TSA agent. I'm not taking off my hat and shoes, the man said. "I paid a lot of money for this flight." Jetty stepped in front of the agent. The man froze. His eyes moved from Jetty's massive feet, up his fluffy chest, and finally to Jetty's giant head. He gulped. "Here is my hat," he said quickly. "You can keep it. I don't even like it." He kicked off his shoes and sprinted through the scanner. Adults in line stood frozen, staring at the enormous Yeti with wide eyes. But the kids? They loved him. A little girl ran up to him and held up her hand. "Hey, Jetty, high five," she said. Jetty gently high-fived her.
High five.
Moments later, some other kids ran up for pictures and hugs. Jetty smiled proudly.
Jetty security.
Parents took photos. Passengers began cooperating, and the line moved faster than it ever had. Jetty had become the airport's new mascot. Later that afternoon, Darnell, Joanna, and James arrived at the airport to visit Jetty. They saw him helping passengers, smiling at kids, and keeping the line moving smoothly. "Jetty," Joanna shouted, "look at you." "People are warming up to you," James added. "You're doing great, Jetty," said Darnell. "We're proud of you." Jetty smiled.
Jetty happy.
The end. And that is the end of our story for today, friends. Oh boy, I really wondered if Jetty was ever going to find a job that fit him. He tried lifting luggage, driving carts, helping ramp agents, riding the conveyor belt, and none of it went quite the way he hoped. But he didn't give up, and he didn't get discouraged. He kept trying, kept learning, and finally found the perfect place where he could help people and make them smile. And that leads me to a moral I learned from today's story. Sometimes things don't go the way you planned on your first day. But if you keep going, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself, you'll find the place where you shine. What did you learn? Something different? Well, that's it for today, friends. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one. Toodles!